game should be pretty stable. So hold on. First off, we'll see jungle pathing, because jungle pathing will like start off with that. So basically, if we go all the way back here to the jungle pathing. So basically, I think that Grig has no idea how to jungle path. So basically, if you look at this, Jace is a champion that needs to be able to push in order to bully GP, right? So in order to do that, they drafted an aggressive early game jungler in Kindred. However, TSM drafted Xin Zhao, which will allow them to actually fight Kindred early. So already, Grig's jungle path is messed up because Xin needs to go red and immediately take this top scuttle. If he takes this top scuttle, then it eliminates Jace's ability to push, and also on top of that, Hunter took Klepto instead of Grasp. If Xin was able to actually take this top scuttle, make it to where this guy couldn't monkey push and is afraid of a gank, GP has Grasp, he can actually win the early game laning phase and actually bully out Jace and eliminate their counter pick, and also force Kindred to path top to bottom in this situation, where you can see in these champions, Varus and Tom, she would have no playmaking angle. And they would also like make this guy have to play scared, which would give GP time to scale up, which would also help them in the future to play topside. Let's see what he does. He does Raptors. Red. Loses top scuttle in a counter pick matchup. Ugh. So this is already wrong. If Forest Within is still in this chat, I guarantee you he will tell you that he does not like playing early game Kindred against Xin Zhao. It is actually a nightmare. If you ever get found, like if you queue over this wall as Kindred to try to get this scuttle, and while you're doing scuttle, Xin walks up through this point, which is where he would be the moment he queued over that wall. Now you have to blow flash, or you die instantly. Then this would completely take out Kindred's jungle. But instead, Grig paths bottom. It doesn't make any sense. So basically, you pick this jungler to take over the early game against Kindred. However, you took over the wrong side of the map in the first place, because now you get the map split on you in the Kindred matchup, and now they're allowed to do basically what their team comp wants to do, and that's Jace. And then on top of that, now you can see Mithy's roaming out of bot lane. So the lane that you actually have to like get priority in is a lane you can't get priority in the first place. So already TSM's early game is completely shit. And you can tell that they had no early game plan with how they wanted to play their lanes and how they wanted to jungle path too. I see this in many cases with Grig, and I think that this is not only a problem with Grig, but TSM in general, communicating how they want to play their lanes, or maybe even understanding of like how jungle actually interacts with laning. Then he goes for a bot lane gank. It's a nice kill, but I don't think this actually like sets you up in the future, because he'll just like TP right back in the lane, he'll just be chilling. So this actually doesn't do anything. So we'll actually skip forward, and because also like the jungler played bot side, Jace is like tower diving top lane and shit with this Kindred. Actually, he just solo towered of him. So basically, the matchup that GP actually could have won with Grasp, and the jungle matchup that they actually could have won, now you can see Xin Zhao was actually down in farm to Kindred, which heavily outscales him. Acadian played his mark timings right. He should have 2 marks after this split map. Yeah. But also, like, Acadian literally entered the game when he queued over that wall. That, like, when I see this Kindred queue over this wall against Xin Zhao, I'm like, holy fuck, this guy's griefing. It's like, bruh. Like, dude, imagine you queue over this wall as Kindred, and Xin is right here. You're like, well, there goes my flash, and I'm probably dead on top of that. And then literally the early game is over for you. But he started Raptors. So we'll talk about... So now the early game is already messed up for the Xin Zhao, which he should have, like, complete domination over the Kindred. So now, like, the fact that they're controlling the river here, this would be actually impossible for this to even happen, and they would never be able to even touch this scuttle. Xin should have complete control of the early game right now, just, like, shitting on the whole game. But now he's down 10 CS. Kindred's already gotten, like, a stack or 2, which he shouldn't even have in the first place. And their top lane is losing when they actually could have won the top lane, is then actually jungle path properly. So now in this situation, this is already wrong. So look at how much stuff they have to commit to this top play. So generally when you play these like Galio flank plays, you want to, instead of it being like a lane gank play like this, where you're just ganking down into the lane, it should be like GP has priority and he actually pushes in and you just tower dive him so he loses waves. But instead, you can look at the position of the wave and what Jace actually loses from this. So they have to blow W flash on Xin, and he kill trades in the process of it. And on top of that, Kindred also gets the wave, and Jace is like, whatever, he even kill traded in that. He actually didn't even lose that much off of that play. Victor got to push mid for free, so you can actually see, because Galio gave those resources to top lane, he actually fell down CS, so now he's losing his matchup. So you actually just lost mid lane off of that roam, and you didn't get anything out of top side, and you lost your jungle matchup on top of it. They just literally have no idea how to play early game at all. It's actually disgusting. Alright, and now, that jungle matchup that you picked to win against this guy because you messed up level 1, you messed up level 3, and you also messed up with that dive, now Acadian actually has full control over the top side. They do get their blue, but he's just going to go down here and get this mark, which they should have been able to contest. But you have to see, Tom Kench had to come up here to contest this blue buff. So now they have like no bot priority. The fact that you need your support to come in and save you from your losing jungle match, or the matchup you're supposed to win in the jungle, that's already like a big issue. Don't you guys agree? Maybe I should maximize this. Alright. So now you can see here, basically GP is never able to push into Jace because they actually like played the jungle matchup so poorly, and they weren't able to clear out the left side river vision because he has no priority as well. So basically Jace gets to play however the hell he wants to play, and because of this pathway not being cleared out, this also takes away Galio's ability to roam top. So where can TSM actually make plays on the map from this point? They have scaling lane top that's losing, a lane mid that gets outscaled, and then a bot lane that is pretty close in scaling, but however this guy will lose in team fights if you don't properly play it. And yeah. See you later, Forest. Alright, so now you can see they have top river controlled. And now, like, they can't do anything. Like, how does TSM actually progress this game from this point? Hanser's just getting solo killed by the jungler. It has nothing to do with Mike Young. This is, to me, a coaching issue. Like, when you watch our early games on FlyQuest are completely planned out to a T. Like, we may, like, mess up sometimes and we, like, fuck up, or, like, I have, like, a bad draft sometimes, but this just shows to me that, like, TSM actually doesn't plan out their early games very well, and they don't understand, like, how to actually progress the game from their lanes. Like, if you walk into this pick ban and you look at these champions, you should ask yourself, how are we going to progress the game, and how are we going to get there? And I would look at this, and I would be like, all right, Zen, you're going to control top side. We're going to control the pathway to this. That means we need to get level 2 scuttles so the Gangplank can push. Like, once we control the pathway, Gangplank has push. We'll bring Galio up one time to dive this guy. Once he's dove, then we'll have full control of the river. We'll progress the game through getting Herald. Once we have Herald, we'll use that to take top turret, and then we'll, like, blow open the map that way. Once we have control of that, we'll get vision top side, and then we'll use GP ultimate to, like, pressure bottom and dragon. And, like, you'll go through the game like that. But it's like, instead, they're like, well, you know what? I'm just going to farm Raptors, bro. And I'm going to lose the winning jungle matchup. So then we can go into the mid game. So we go into the mid game when the turrets are actually down. So TSM actually ended up... they actually end up equal gold, even because Optic is such a bad team. So, like, TSM, like, fucked up super hard, but Optic is actually also a bad team, so everything is okay. So basically, they're going to go up here. They're going to push out bot lane with GP. They should go and force Herald here at this point. This is correct to do that. Why should GP be able to push Jason? Doesn't Jace just have priority? No, that's not true. If Xin takes Scuttle early and pushes Kindred out, so if Kindred can't walk into this side of the jungle, so if you take Scuttle early as Xin against Kindred, basically, like, Kindred can never just face check into Xin, or else she'll instantly die, and that's why they picked the matchup in the first place. And then on top of that, since now you have no river control, the Jace can't push in the matchup. So now GP gets to naturally push into the lane, and then the lane will always be here, and GP gets to ward this. So this is warded, and they have Scuttle. There's almost no way that Kindred can gank, and she has to play bot side on top of that. So now that GP has a winning matchup, and he can just Q on cooldown with Grasp, which he should have. He has Klepto, by the way, not Grasp. Then you'll actually be able to, like, bully Jace out and whittle him down because you have more sustain. Because he went Biscuits, Corrupting Potion, and Time Warp Tonic. So that means he has far more sustain, plus Grasp that would actually beat the Jace. That's why he can do that. GP with priority jungle wins nearly every matchup if played properly. So they do get the... So this is like what Lustboy was talking about, that they should fight this Herald. But I don't think that's the case at all, because they don't have GP ultimate, so they can't fight this. Because the threat is in, GP wins lane, correct. And because the jungler can push out their jungler. So they don't have ultimate here. How do they start this fight? It's pretty much only Varus ultimate or Xin going in, right? So basically Xin would have to dive straight into this group of people, which he could do. He could flash E into Kindred and then R arrow into the team and then Galio ult on top of that. That would be one way they could start this fight. But he doesn't go for it. Grig is actually a very pussy jungler. That would have been a ganking. That would have been a fight angle they actually could have gone for. But Grig would have definitely died instantly on top of that. And it would probably be a kill trade. And summoners would have been blown by both sides. Would that play actually progress the game? Probably not. It probably just would have been a kill trade. Rogan's Saintvicious 6 for 6 months. Welcome back, friend. So that play actually probably would have just like progressed the game. And no, it wouldn't progress the game at all. Actually, it would have probably just gave a kill to their Victor that outscales. And you would have died instantly, and I don't think that would have done anything. And that is what Lustboy was trying to talk about in the post-game, and why I'm like, wow, TSM's coaching staff actually has no idea how to play the game or progress the game with their team comp. They don't even know how their team comp works. So now from this point, they have Rift Herald. So you heard Sven complaining that after first tower, he said that there's nothing they can do, and they had no idea how to play their team comp. So in this case, Jace cannot push out to River at this point because they have Tahm Kench. And also, they have Galio in mid lane and Varus in side lane. So this is already incorrect. Galio should be in top lane, and Varus and Tahm Kench should be in mid lane. The reasoning for that is that if Galio goes side lane, or GP goes side lane, Tahm Kench can ulti into the lanes. And then also Galio can ulti to mid if they try to contest mid priority. So basically, once TSM gets mid priority, which they should be able to get at some point, or at least have equal priority, then they can hug to one side and then threaten Tahm Kench ultimate. But you can see here, Tahm Kench and Xin are just walking around fapping. So also, you can see they fucked the wave up in this time. So this is a slow pushed wave. So actually they're getting denied some CS, so they're not building the wave in the way that they should be able to. It should be like Galio can push out super far, like maybe up to here, and then he can come down and threaten, and then these people can threaten to like come up in some way, like the Tahm Kench and the Varus. And the Xin should be following whoever they're going to hug to. So if they're going to hug to Galio's side, Xin should be with him. If they're going to hug the Gangplank side, then Xin should be with the Gangplank. Galio doesn't have TP, so they should be hugging to Galio's side in this case. And they'll be able to take over all this topside vision and actually properly crash this wave into top turret. But what they actually do is they walk down mid, ultimate this guy, and they do kill him. That's actually a good play. I'll give him that. That was actually a good play by TSM to use the Tahm Kench ultimate. I agree with that. They should... But they lose mid-turret for it, actually. Wait, never mind. That's not a good play. Ugh, they did kill him. That's a nice collapse, but I think they committed too many resources here. Zen should have came back to mid lane with Galio. Did he actually fully commit on bottom? So this is actually the mistake here, that the Tahm Kench did do an okay play. However, they committed way too many resources, so they actually ended up losing mid-turret off of it, which they should never even have happen in the first place. So... I actually think that this should be Tahm Kench and Xin taking this, and then Varus and Galio should stay mid in this situation, and they'll never be able to take mid, and then they'll actually be able to trade bot turret. So they committed too many resources to a play, and they end up losing mid turret because of it. And this is a turret that they actually could have held. And then now they push, and they also lose top turret off of that as well, even though top turret was already low. So basically, they could have put themselves in a situation where they don't lose any turrets, and they can actually push waves properly and take over a side of the map. But instead, they just went for this random baboon play, ended up losing 2 turrets for 1 turret and the Herald. So that actually was like a horrible play by them, if you think about it. They actually came out behind on that. Alright, so we can see how they can progress the game from this point. Was Herald necessary? I don't even... Maybe, dude. I don't even like the play in the start, so... So now, how do they progress the game from this point? Someone's peeing in the background? No, I have a fountain running. So now, Jace, you can see, is pushing down to this side, right? And they have no mid control. Ugh. So now their waves are just already set up really fucked up. So they need to get mid priority. So this is right. They should send Galio into top lane. So this is the lane setup that I said they should have had, like, even before. when they would have had their mid turret up. So see, if their mid turret was still up, they could actually get like true mid priority here and actually push these people out properly. But because they don't have a turret behind them, you can see how scared they have to play while Galio's going to side lane. And because of that, now they get to take over full control of one side of the map. So see how Optic have control of a side of the map, and TSM actually don't have control of a side of the map. And yes, Bjerg is bleeding out CS. And the reason why they're bleeding out CS is because you can see every time he pushes the wave to here, and then it starts to slow push into turret. So all this CS right here that would have gone to Bjerg, like this pile of CS right here, this is a pile of CS that whoever goes into the side lane should be able to take. But because they actually didn't take over a side of the map, every single time that you see somebody go into that lane, they lose this CS. So over the course of the game, that's going to accumulate to a lot of fucking CS. So you can see, like, they're literally just piling waves for Jhin to take for free. And Jhin gets to take all this waves. And because he actually gets to properly clear the wave, he'll clear this wave, and this wave will sit and won't be a slow. Now the waves will meet in the middle, and every single time Jhin will get more CS. So you see how this is a dead wave where it's completely even? And Jhin gets to push out that wave on top of that. So now, like, the wave's going to be okay for him, I think. Will this wave slow pile? Probably not. This looks like a pretty close wave. Yeah, it looks like a pretty close wave. And then Galio just goes and pushes it out immediately. So they actually don't really lose at ECS. TSM ahead in gold. That's because of Klepto Gangplank and Varus' CS advantage are the main things that are causing that. Plus their up kills. That's actually what causes the gold advantage. So in this situation, how they progress the game, even though I feel like they've already fucked up super hard at this point in the game with their team comp, is they need to take over one of the sides of the map. So you can see, basically they can never gain mid priority because they lost mid turret off of that original play. Like even here, they're too scared to go to mid priority, and they have no control over any side of the map, right? So even when, like, you see when Jin's pushing out this wave here on the top, like this is when they should take over top side of the map or bottom side of the map, because Jin has to catch side wave, right? So when Jin catches side wave, what this tells them is that at maximum there can be three people mid. Like the most people that can possibly be mid in this situation is 3, right? So if there's 3 people mid, 4 can push out 3, correct? So that means 4 should push up to this turret and then take over the jungle, or take over the jungle on the bot side. Let's see what they do. They walk away and they clear out raptors. Nice. So they never actually took over a side of the map with their priority window. So they literally did nothing. And because of that, they lose mid priority. They lose dragon. All right, here's the next priority window that they would have. So you see Galio push top, right? They know Jin has to catch this wave, right? So you see Galio cleared out that wave. Jin has to catch that wave, right? This is when they should be able to do a fight, or like at least contest vision. Let's see what actually happens. Jin goes top and clears top for free. Gangplank pushes side lane. They sit mid and lose all control. Jace is here, but Gangplank could have dropped his wave and actually matched that Jace roam window, and they could have started a fight on that window. So this is one of the window timings when they actually could have fought, but they just didn't go for it. So I don't know. What did Bjergsen back for? I want to see what he backed for. What did Bjergsen back for? He got a 900 gold item. Not worth it, because this is one of the times when they could actually start a fight, or at least look to blow sums. Like, imagine if... So, now Gangplank knows that Jace is coming up on this wave, right? Imagine if Bjergsen immediately starts pathing mid. Gangplank leaves this wave dead in the side lane. So, there's no wave. The wave for GP to get is actually right here. You can see it coming out of the turret. So, GP came up to mid here. Galio starts going the long way around, and they immediately start a fight on these people with Gangplank ultimate. What's my opinion on AP Varus? It doesn't matter what build he goes. I personally think AD Varus is the best, but... it doesn't really matter what build he goes, because your build's not going to change anything if you don't actually properly start the fights. So this is a timing when they actually could have started a fight on mid, and at least tried to blow summoners, because they know somebody has to go get this wave on the top lane. So basically, imagine, Victor is here alone, GP's walking up here, Galio's taking this long way around, and they just full engage on this Victor and blow all his sums or kill him, which I definitely think they could kill him. Like, they have Varus ultimate, they could get all his sums out, which could set them up for the next fight. and give them at least a chance to like fight in the future. But instead, they literally do nothing. Bjergsen Baxen gets a 900 gold item, and this is just time number 2 that they do nothing with their priority window. And because they do nothing, the game just drags on. Victor scales up, and just nothing happens. Literally nothing happens. Okay, so this is another timing. GP has priority window from bottom. He actually pushed that wave. Jace, right? He has to go catch bot wave. What do they do with it? He pushes bottom. They do kill him. That's actually pretty good that they do that. They do get that kill. Did they do it the right way, though? This is actually an okay play because they saw Jhin top. I can completely agree with this play. However, Jace did not have to die here. Jace actually fucked around too long. He could have actually walked through this point right here and just been ready to take that wave. So this was actually a bad play by Dokla to like let him get this turret and set up this play in the first place. So the only reason this play worked out is because Optic's actually just kind of bad. And it actually ends up being... actually ends up good for them. Excellent. So that play should never have happened in the first place if Optic wasn't bad. But it ends up happening. And then they TP in, they have Baron pressure. And it's just like you can see, like, this whole mid game is just like they're not doing it properly. Also, I bet you there's timings when Tahm Kench could have ultimated top to, like, go after the Jhin. But they never actually got control of this top side vision because Bjergsen keeps backing randomly. So, like, this whole area is pinked. So they actually can't threaten properly on that. And then maybe, like, Tahm Kench could have looked bottom on the GP sooner. But I don't know, dude. This game's just bad, man. They've already fucked this game up. Literally, they fucked the game. The moment this game got fucked was right here. The game was, like, fucked from this point right here. Literally, the game is fucked. Isn't that crazy? The game is literally fucked from this moment. Alright, I'm done reviewing this game. We'll go next game.